Good evening and welcome to 30-Minute Menus. My name is Don Parsons and I'm here tonight with a very special guest, and our task, and we've chosen to accept it, is to give you a great meal in about a half hour so you can get on with other things. My special guest tonight is a gentleman who probably, well, needs no introduction to anybody, but I'll introduce him anyway. He's a man with a very tough job. He's Karl Wells from Here and Now's Weather Department.
Just don't
Karl.
ask me to give you a weather forecast, Donald.
I won't.
I'm not working right now.
However, what I will point out is that you have got probably one of the toughest jobs on the face of the earth.
I like to think so.
Yeah, you've got, well, I mean, you have to come on. Living on the Avalon Peninsula in Newfoundland is one of the most, and I've heard this from meteorologists, one of the toughest places on the face of the earth to accurately predict weather.
It is.
And you've got to come on TV every night and tell people what's going to happen tomorrow.
And I get blamed when the weather is bad. But the good thing is, when it's sunny, people come up to me and they pat me on the back and say, "Thanks for that sunny day today."
Okay.
And
so
I say, "You're welcome."
I guess it's a case of what you lose on the swings, you pick up on the roundabout.
Exactly.
And if your weather doesn't turn out exactly the way Karl says on any given night, don't blame Karl.
No, don't blame me, folks. Don't blame me.
Don't shoot me, I'm just the piano player.
I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger.
Okay. Now, what I didn't realize until you came in and told us about it was that your great love in life is cooking.
Exactly. I mean, I'm passionate about cooking. I love it. And we've got a great supper lined up tonight. We're going to start with soup, potato and leek soup, and then we're going to have as our entree chicken and vegetable stir-fried in the wok with a really nice rice, my very favorite rice recipe.
Okay.
And then we'll finish it off with peaches, a gratin of peaches or baked peaches and almonds.
A 3-course meal in a half hour.
Yeah.
You got your
But
work
the
cut out
secret is with walking, it's fast, but you've got to have everything chopped up beforehand.
Right.
Because unless you have it chopped up, it's going to take a little longer. But we're all set to go.
Okay, well, we've got all the pre-preparation taken care of.
Yeah. Actually, we're going to start off with the dessert.
Okay, what are we having for dessert?
Peaches and almonds, and what we've done is we've cut them in half, and we've laid them flat side down in this baking dish now, and pitted them, of course.
Okay.
The next thing we're going to do is sprinkle...
Well, before we go on, let's tell the people at home what they're going to need to make their peaches. What you're going to need at home to make the gratin of peaches is 6 peaches, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 4 tablespoons of apricot jam, a 1/4 cup of sliced almonds. Now, having those things, what are we going to do with them?
Okay, the first thing we're going to do with the peaches is we're going to sprinkle some sugar on top of them. And I never follow recipes, actually. I've given you a recipe for the purposes of this program, but I just sprinkle what I think is what I like.
But is this your own creation?
No, actually, it's not. I got this from a television program, actually, I saw a few years ago. And I liked it because it was fresh fruit, and I love fresh fruit, and it's not high in calories, or at least it's not high in fat.
Right.
Except tonight we're going to add some cream to it, but you can prepare this without the cream, and it's just as nice.
Okay, and what you're doing here is you're adding just a dollop of apricot jam
to the top.
Each of the peaches.
And you can use peach jam as well, if you can find any. But I like the taste of apricot jam, and actually you can use apricots for this recipe as well.
Well, this will make a beautiful blend.
Apricots or peaches.
Okay, well, I'll get your cream for you.
We need the cream, and again, I'm not going to really stick closely to the recipe, but like I say, you can just sort of do what you think is right for you.
Okay, this is a blend cream.
Yeah, and it's about 10% milk fat, I think, which is better than 18% milk fat.
Yeah.
And the last thing is the almonds, which we sprinkle on top.
Some sliced almonds.
Sliced almonds. Looks good, eh?
Yeah, it does. It hasn't even cooked yet.
Oh. Sprinkle those on the top. And a bit of fat in the almonds too, of course.
Can I pop that in the oven for you?
Yeah, pop that in the oven at about 350 for half an hour or so.
Half hour. A true 30-minute menu.
Yeah. It'll all be done in 30 minutes, but there's a bit of preparation, like I said. Now, the next thing is the rice, and we need some oil for that.
And while you're getting ready there, I can tell everybody at home what you're going to need for the rice. For Karl's savory rice, you'll want 1 cup of long grain rice, 2 cups of chicken stock, 1 tablespoon of canola oil, 2 tablespoons of chopped onion, pepper to taste. You'll also want a little salt to taste, 1 tablespoon of thyme, and 1 bay leaf.
Great. Now, we heat the oil up in the saucepan, and we add the minced onion. This one here.
Onion, okay.
I don't know if I've got that hot enough, but...
that's pretty much up on bust.
Yeah,
just give it a...
Up as high as it'll go.
Let me ask you, do you cook on propane at home?
No.
No?
No. No.
A lot of people swear by propane. I find propane really good in baking, but I prefer electric actually as a range top. What I find for the baking is because it's a burning gas, one of the byproducts is water of the combustion, so you get a moisture heat.
Yeah. Well, it's just as well that you don't have propane because I'm not used to it anyway, so this is fine. The next thing we do is once the onions have softened, is pop in the rice.
Okay. Well, it'll be a second, for a couple minutes, I guess, for those to soften. I'll have the rice there ready for you.
They soften pretty quickly because they're chopped up pretty fine, eh? I find that rice actually is kind of boring if you just cook it plain. And this recipe sort of makes it a little bit more interesting, you know?
Well, you call it zesty rice?
Yeah, savory rice.
Savory rice, I'm sorry.
We're going to put thyme in it.
Not savory.
Which is not savory. which is the ingredient I think that really makes it taste kind of special.
Right. Okay. One of the things I love in cooking is the beautiful sizzle that comes away when you.
Yeah. It smells.
Yeah. Now I find that it's a multimedia event cooking because you get the smells and the sounds and the visuals and the taste.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very therapeutic, you know. I mean, it's not so therapeutic when you've only got like 30 minutes to do 3 courses. But I mean, I can spend all day in the kitchen just puttering around and looking at recipes and chopping up vegetables and trimming beef and whatever, you know.
Mm. Now, why are we cooking the rice dry?
We're just sort of well, it's not dry actually. There's oil in there. It's just to sort of give it a brown color. And you've got to be careful that you don't burn it because it burns pretty easily. Can you get some pepper, Don?
You bet.
Okay, just crack in some pepper there.
Will do. Say when.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Now, you might want to put in some salt as well, but not now, because actually we're going to cook this in chicken stock, and I'm using canned chicken stock tonight, which is pretty salty anyway. So you don't want to use salt when you're using the canned stuff, but if you've got your own homemade stuff and you haven't put any salt in it, obviously,
and current trends in cooking is because people like different amounts of salt, is to cook largely with very small amounts and then let your guests add as they see.
Yeah. Now, can you stir that?
I certainly can.
Keep stirring it. And I'm going to ladle in the stock, which should be boiling actually, but ours is sort of cooled a bit.
Okay. Now I think you're saying 2 cups of the stock?
2 cups of stock, yeah.
Okay. Now
that's about 1 cup. And 2.
2. Nice. And
now we'll need the rest of that stock for the stir fry later.
Okay, and we've added liquid there now, so that doesn't have to be stirred again.
Now we've got to put some thyme in. About a tablespoon of thyme.
Beauty.
And a bay leaf.
Okay, bay leaf is for taste. We pick that out before we serve it?
Yeah.
Okay, and the thyme.
It'll float to the top when you take the lid off after. It'll be.
Thyme will give it a gorgeous flavor.
It'll give it a flavor and color. And
yeah, but also, as I was going to say, give it a nice coloring too.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's fairly simple. That's aside from leaving it to cook. That's about all there is to that, I believe.
I'm just going to see if we can't get this heated up a little bit more, because we have to turn it down on low when we put
once
the lid
it
on,
boils,
and let it cook for about 25 minutes.
Okay. If you like, I can stir that while you get on to your next dish.
Okay. The next dish is the soup.
The potato and leek soup.
Yeah, potato and leek soup. Now, can we put this burner on? Which one is it, Don?
This one right here. Now that's on bust. Is that where you want it?
Fairly high to start with, yeah, because we've got to heat up some oil.
Okay, and here at home is what you're going to need for a potato and leek soup. You'll need 3½ cups of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of canola oil, 2 medium leeks, 2 small potatoes, 3 tablespoons of light cream, and pepper to taste. That's it.
And got to heat this stuff up now.
Okay.
That's on, is it?
That's on.
Okay, I trust you.
You'll have to.
How are you doing there?
This is coming. It's not boiling just yet, but what we'll do is we'll just keep an eye on that while that's heating up. Now you're going to want some water in that.
We've got to soften in what?
For this, and I'll just heat
for
that.
Soup?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll heat that for you.
Though. Oh, right, okay. So you heat up that water. We've got to put hot water in this
right, okay, now we're
soup.
boiling.
Great. Now, where's the lid?
The lid was here. Here it is.
So you put the lid on?
Lid that and turn it down
Turn it down on low.
Simmer. There
Simmer.
You go. Which is low.
Now, we soften our leeks.
Right.
These are very good for you, by the way. They're full of fiber and full of vitamin C. And a lot of people around here actually are growing leeks these days, I notice.
Are they? Member of the onion family?
Yes, it is, yeah. They kind of look like big green onions. Anyway, we're going to soften those up in the saucepan. And
you want it in your soup and not in your boots.
That's right.
That's the second oldest joke on the face of the earth.
Jack Strong, the gardener, I noticed that he was growing a lot of leeks in his garden, and some of them were quite big. So it's probably a good dish this time of the year, because a lot of people, have them in their gardens. They're fresh.
That's right.
And we're going to cook this with potato as well.
And anything that grows in the Newfoundland climate
potatoes on the go.
Great to work into the recipe.
And plus, it's starting to get a little cool out. I should know. And it's a nice sort of warm fall or winter dish, I guess. And it's a nice way to start off the menu, because it's kind of a light soup. It's not really, heavy.
It's not something that you'll fill up on and then not be able to face your main course.
No, unless you have too much of it. But I'm not going to give you too much of it. Now, is the water ready?
Water is ready.
Okay. We've got to add 3 or 4 cups of water to this as soon as they soften up a little bit more.
Okay, again, that is sizzling. So. Now, can I check that rice? Make sure it's going?
No.
Or should it be left alone?
No, leave it alone.
Okay.
It's my rice.
No problem. One of the ongoing questions here on 30 Minute
I've cooked this rice hundreds of times. Now, granted, this isn't my range, but it should turn out perfectly.
Well, one of the ongoing questions here
low or simmer or whatever, after 25 minutes, it should be perfectly done.
One of the ongoing questions here is when you put rice on, should you stir it after you get it going, or should you leave it alone? And we're getting about 50-50.
Well,
so I just want to add your vote to that.
Well, personally, I leave it alone.
Okay.
And then when it's done, I take a fork and I sort of, fluff it up a bit.
Okay, one vote for the leave it alones.
Yeah. Now, bung in the water there, Donald.
Bung in the water.
I had to lift that off because
okay, and this is verge of boiling.
Okay.
Stand back a shade.
There we go.
There she goes.
Now we need some salt as well.
There you go, sir.
Let me see here. I'm not used to this shaker.
This is great. I get to be the sort of a person in a kitchen that I truly enjoy being as assistant to somebody who knows what they're doing.
How much was this, I wonder? How much was this? Was this a teaspoon or what?
That was, yeah, teaspoon or probably a shade over. Okay, so
now,
in there right
potato?
now, potato, cubed in about 3/4 inch cubes.
Well, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah, for a quicker recipe, the smaller you'll want them.
Whichever size you prefer.
Lovely.
And we just let this simmer now for about 25 minutes or so. Everything has to be under 30 minutes, right?
You bet.
And we let it simmer on a
Karl,
moderate...
that smells great.
My gosh, you're right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
now this is
really
only just started, so I guess if I like the smell of that now, by the time this is ready, I am going to love it.
Yeah, we finish it off with cream. The cream that's left over, did we leave in?
Oh, this is oh yes.
That's left over from the peaches. We finish it off with cream and we crack in some pepper at the finish there as well.
Beauty.
So we let this simmer now for about, like I said, 25 minutes on a moderate heat.
Okay, open top.
Yeah, we leave the lid off.
Okay.
Yeah, and it reduces a little bit. So now we do the walking. And we need oil again. Can you turn this one on for me?
You betcha.
Fairly high.
Okay, on boss.
And because we're going to do this really quickly, okay?
Okay.
So we heat up the oil. Make sure it's good and hot before we start cooking. The first thing we're going to cook is the onion and garlic.
Okay. Before we toss that in, let's take a 1-minute break, and we'll be right back here on 30-minute menus to get on the wok. See you in a minute. And here we are back, and the wok is hot.
Okay, so the oil is heated, and in go sliced onion and garlic. Okay, and we cook that very quickly. Now we're going to need a bowl to put this in because we had to set it aside after it's, oh, very good, after it's softened.
Take my job seriously.
A high heat, and you cook quickly.
Okay.
Actually, that could probably be a little higher, maybe. Drive it up a little bit more there, Don.
There you go.
We're running out of time.
Not a problem.
Something I'm very used to, actually, running out of time. I'm frequently yelled out after I get off the air for having gone over.
Well, if it's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, you should at least have 10 minutes to talk about it.
Believe me, I could talk for 10 minutes, too. Got our chicken ready. The chicken's been cut into strips.
Okay, sort of julienne.
Yeah. I think that's probably cooked enough, because what we're going to do is we're going to set this aside and put it and the chicken back in the finished dish at the end.
Okay.
So let me just put that in this bowl. Get most of it out anyway.
You see, and the nice thing is that it's going to leave behind. It's going to leave behind its nice flavor for the next thing.
Flavor of the onion and the garlic.
Now, while you're getting those out, I'll tell the people at home what they're going to need for the wok chicken, the stir-fried chicken. You'll need 2 chicken breasts, as we mentioned, julienne. We need broccoli florets, half a red pepper, half a yellow pepper, 2 carrots, 1 onion, 1 clove of garlic, which we've already had in, 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock, 2 tablespoons of sherry, yum yum, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, and 2 teaspoons of cornstarch.
Great.
We'll also want 2 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil.
And now, can you put some pepper on there?
Some peppers. Say when.
No salt, because we've got soy sauce coming.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, this can be probably a little underdone, because, like I said before, we're going to put it back in at the end and cook it for another a little bit.
Okay, now this will be coming out, so I'll be going right in with the onions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take this out now, Don, because, like I say,
There, sir.
it doesn't have to be totally cooked.
Okay, and then it all goes back in to be finished.
You don't want it to turn to rubber. Now, do you have the vegetables on standby?
Vegetables on deck.
We have broccoli and yellow pepper and
red pepper.
Red pepper.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. And that goes...
Yellow and red pepper.
Doesn't that look nice? Nice
Yeah,
arrangement I've made there.
And carrots.
Like the noise I'm making, Don?
Yeah, so you got a beautiful color arrangement there.
Gee, that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then the chicken and the onion will go back in with
now,
it.
what I want you to do is put a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce in with a cup of chicken stock there.
In a separate dish? A couple of...
No, just put it in with the stock. There's your stock right here.
Right, a couple of tablespoons?
In with the stock, yeah.
Right, of soy sauce?
Yeah.
1. Oop, 2.
And a couple or three or 4 tablespoons of sherry.
2. Well, we'll say 3 to overflowing.
Okay.
In the stock?
The alcohol evaporates anyway, folks.
That's right. But it
and all of the calories.
It leaves behind a tremendous taste.
Yeah. Now, we're going to make a little well in the center. Just pour that in that well in the center.
And away it goes.
And try to keep the vegetables up against the side of the wok because...
Can I stabilize that for you?
Yeah.
No, I can't. It's hot.
Keep the veggies up against the side of the wok as much as you can because we don't want them to actually boil.
Right.
We want them to steam.
Aha.
Now, where's the cover?
The cover is...
The couvert.
Right over here.
Okay, just put the cover on that, no?
Okay. Now, we can do a quick recap because we're going to take our break now before we go out. We let that steam for about how long?
A couple of minutes.
Just to soften but not actually mush the vegetables.
Yeah, they'll be al dente.
Right. And then the chicken and the onions...
We put that back in.
Right.
Take the lid off, put the chicken and the onions back in, give it a stir around. Then we put in our cornstarch and water mixture.
Which has been mixed with cold water because otherwise it'll thicken before you get it in. You'll have some lumps. And then we take it all out to the dining room where we let you know how it turned out.
Good.
See you in a minute out there.
If you would like to try this 30-minute menu for yourself, we can send you the recipe. Just send a stamped self-addressed envelope to 30-Minute Menus, care of Cable Atlantic, Post Office Box 8596, St. John's, Newfoundland, A1B 3P2. Be sure to specify which recipe you are requesting.
And here we are back as promised in the dining room with Karl Wells from Here and Now, the weatherman who has, in a blizzard of activity, turned out what looks to be an incredible, incredible meal. Let's just take a minute to talk about what we're having. We're having potato and leek soup. And
which we put some cream in at the end.
And a little touch of pepper, as you were saying.
Cream and pepper, yeah.
And we're going to try that. And then we're going to go to the chicken stir fry on the zesty rice?
Yeah, savory rice.
Savory rice. I got it right. No, I got it wrong.
Thyme is the secret ingredient.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one of the really nice things that if you look at this, the stir fry is served on a bed of that savory rice, and the thyme makes a little flecks that just set that off beautifully. And all that color, that burst of color in the center.
And we thicken this up at the end with cornstarch, of course.
Which makes a beautiful sauce to go
nice
down
sauce,
into the rice. Final touch is the beautiful peaches, and you can see how the apricot jam has melted over them, and the cream has just melded into that beautifully.
And you can make this, like I said earlier, without the cream, and it tastes great as well. For that matter, you don't have to put the cream in the soup either. But
no, okay. Well, I guess
it's a nice touch if you're entertaining.
I bet if you were to omit the cream and just do this with a scoop of ice cream on the side, it'd be marvelous.
Yeah.
It looks great like it is. Now, without further ado,
the taste test.
Let's see if weathermen can cook.
I want to see if this turned out okay.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. The flavor of the leeks and the potato An onion in there.
Mmm.
Marvelous.
It's got a nice, fresh, garden sort of taste.
And as you mentioned, it's a fairly light supper, so it's a fairly light soup. So it's not something heavy that's going to take away your attention from your main course. I gotta have one more taste. Ah, lovely. I hate doing this. I hate doing this. I love doing this.
This feels like an exam to me.
It is, Karl.
So what was the grade on the soup, teacher?
A+.
Oh,
with
good.
stars.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm going to try the rice on its own before I... the thyme just touches
Makes
that
the
up.
difference, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try that myself.
It's a very appropriate name. I believe savory means choice, and that is choice stuff. I'm often accused here by the crew of getting involved in what they call smell-o-vision, where I'm constantly carrying on about the aroma of things. The aroma of this is incredible. I can't help myself. But to give you an idea, the taste, if you look at the color in the presentation of this, it lives up to what it looks like. Really it does. This is beautiful. The pepper and the carrot and the broccoli, cooked enough to bring out the flavor, but not to turn it to mush. Beautiful. Oh, that is excellent. We just got one more minute. Don't go away, I'll be right back. These beautiful, and as you were saying, served at room temperature.
Yeah,
which we've allowed these to do.
Yeah. I've got to try the peaches too. I
hardly worry too much. This is great. And we talked about omitting cream, adding ice cream. I wouldn't change a thing. Not a thing. This is great. Oh, beauteous. They're giving me the wrap.
Okay.
Karl, thank you so much for coming up.
You're most welcome. I really enjoyed it. I love to cook.
I
love to see people enjoy my food.
May all your forecasts be accurate. May all your food be as good as this. May all your experimentations just work for you.
Thank you.
Thank you again for coming. Thank you for joining us while we had the opportunity to prepare this fantastic meal. We'll see you next week right here on 30 Minute Menus. Good night.
You're watching Cable 9, your community channel.